To put it short and sweet, stunningly beautiful. Today we are in Le Center, Washington, and to be honest with you, I did not plan this trip. It's kind of a last-minute weekend trip that I took up here, but for not planning anything, it is beautiful here. You need to check this little place out. It's also a little bit strange. We got a bunch of casinos and not much of a commercial center other than that. But there are some stunning parks. There is the river, which from what I understand is a big part of the history of Le Center. And we're just going to see what this little place has to offer. The Cowlitz Native Americans lived in the Le Center area for centuries, but were mostly displaced by white settlers to the area in the 1800s. When the area was settled, it was first called Podunk, although it is believed that there was not the negative connotation that we have today with that word. Eventually, the name was changed to Le Center, as it had become a central location for commerce for neighboring communities. Being on the Lewis River, this was a river trading community, which made the agricultural and lumber industries here boom. People and goods were being shipped in and out via the river. The boats serving these river trade routes were all steam-powered sternwheelers, which still are prominently featured in signage and namesakes all around town, including this stern wheel, which is a part of the town's current welcome sign. With a strong agricultural foundation here, Le Center became the first community in Washington Territory to have a Grange Hall. This simple two-story structure still stands here today. There is also a little museum that is only open a few days per month. I'm sure it will shock my regular followers that it was closed on the particular day that I was visiting. As the area began to grow, the rich timber resources here became quite apparent, and logging became the primary industry, with the first logging company starting here in 1876. By the turn of the century, around 8 sawmills were within a 5-mile radius of town, supplying jobs to hundreds of men. That number would only increase as time went on. Stores, hotels, and restaurants would be built, as well as a hospital, although there is not a hospital here anymore. However, the growing community would soon be quite troubled, as the forests that fueled the logging industry were becoming smaller and smaller. The industry that grew the town was shrinking, along with the area's trees, which would result in massive decline for this little town. In 1910, the population of Le Center peaked at only 288 residents. By 1920, that number would be nearly half of that, as people moved away following jobs. It would be 60 years before the number of residents here would reach the same numbers as the 1910 population again. While this remained a beautiful place to live, it didn't have the industry to provide growth. Although many would see this as a downside, I actually see it as somewhat of a benefit, as Le Center has maintained a quaint, small-town charm that is often bulldozed over with growth in industry in other places. In the 1970s, the area began to grow again, but finances were in absolute shambles here by the 1980s, and a moratorium on new construction was put into place due to wells running dry and a sewage system that couldn't keep up with usage at the time. The town had big decisions to make. So in 1985, they became the only town in Clark County to allow card room gambling. Along with that came a 10% tax that would bring this town back to life and out of the grips of bankruptcy. Clark County assisted in building up the water and waste systems. These new revenues brought in by the casinos would allow for new construction and growth again. Most of the new growth in the area is now as a bedroom community for commuters to nearby Vancouver and Portland. Today, over 4,000 people call this home, and I must say that it would be a stunning place to call home, with beautiful river views, a small town feel that remains here, easy access to the interstate, and some nice small businesses here. I stopped into Sadie and Josie's bakery to get some cinnamon rolls before walking around town and seeing what is here. Although there isn't a ton here for tourists to do, there is a tremendous park that I walked through for quite some time, including a trail that takes you parallel to the river, although I never really saw the river from the length of the trail that I was on. I'll pause now to let you see some of what I saw in the Sternwheeler Park and on the trail headed out of it. This is an amazing little community that I genuinely enjoyed. It is a sleepy little place, but those are the types of places that I like as I take these trips to escape the chaos of bigger cities. If you are passing through between Portland and Seattle, stop in and take a walk in the park and see the cute little downtown area and maybe support some of the small businesses here. For someone that lives in the desert, like me, this area was a welcome sight of sprawling rivers, crops, and trees, a sea of natural green that I saw as pure beauty. We'll see you next time, somewhere else down the road.